Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Today's lecture will focus on the impact of technology on the design and management of different institutions specializing in manufacturing goods or offering service to customers. As we said before, the technology reflects not just the tools and machinery and things used to produce products, but it reflects on how people interact and work together in order to produce the final products, whether goods or services. And we also said that the rest of the organizational processes are laid around in a systematic way around the core technological processes in order to protect it from the massive influences of the technology, considering that the organization is more like an open system. Among the famous classifications of technology is that studied and later on developed by Joan Woodward, who classified technologies based on study of manufacturing firms into small batch technology, mass production, and continuous process technologies. Joan Woodward discovered that technology was related to structure and performance and was based on technical complexity, which reflect the extent of mechanization and predictability of manufacturing processes. Mass production firms tend to be more formalized, centralized, mechanistic, and larger and with larger span of control and less educated workers than small batch or continuous process. Small batch, which focus on how to manufacture unit products, unique units of products. And successful firms had complementary structures and technologies. Successful small batch and continuous process organizations tend to have organic structures because they work more like a teamwork. Just imagine the manufacturing of the space shuttle. Space shuttle, you cannot put the space shuttle on an assembly line, but you have to have people from different specialties working on it as a team. Same could be said for continuous process. So successful mass production organizations tend to have mechanistic structures because they produce large numbers of identical products in a standardized way, so in a way which does not allow for variations, as we said before. Flexible manufacturing systems is a new type of technology, relatively new, not completely new, and is an outright result for the massive developments in information systems and computer technology and all that stuff. And it has many names like computer integrated manufacturing, advanced manufacturing technology, agile manufacturing, smart factories, and so on. The advantage with the flexible manufacturing systems is that it uses three subcomponents like the computer aided design, the computer aided manufacturing, and the computer controlled machines. The flexible manufacturing systems allow companies to have the advantages of the small batch technology and the large batch technology, mass production, producing with large numbers of outcomes, while at the same time having or enabling companies to customize their products. So flexible manufacturing systems allow us to mass produce customized products. So both batch size and customization as product flexibility can be combined together when using the flexible manufacturing systems. Flexible manufacturing is typically associated with different structure and management techniques than the traditional assembly line. Flexible manufacturing usually works best with a narrow span of control, few hierarchical levels, adaptive tasks, low specialization, decentralization, and an overall organic structure, as you can see in this figure. And this table shows us the different organizational characteristics as related to the different technological systems. Like there is a comparison between the mass production and the flexible manufacturing systems. And when we look at other characteristics as a continuation for the previous table, we find that mass production and flexible manufacturing systems differ also based on the interactions. With the flexible systems, based on teamwork, which reflect frequent interactions among members of the team, we find that the production system has a standalone type of interaction where each individual is specialized in doing only one type of task or very few tasks. And with training, of course, with teams, we find that there are frequent trainings due to the urgency of having all team members possessing all the skills needed to perform all the different tasks required by the team, and mandating that all members have to possess all the skills needed to work on all parts of the product, the intended product to be produced. And of course, when we look at the customer demands, we find that the demands are stable, do not change when it comes to mass production, while it is very changing when it comes to flexible manufacturing systems. That's why those systems are flexible in order to meet the changing demands of the customers. When we look at the service technologies, we find that they have different characteristics than those of the manufacturing technologies, and with service technologies, depending on the interaction between the service provider and the customer, and also because of the other characteristics of the service technologies, we find that their structural imperatives are so different than those of the manufacturing companies. And if you look at the characteristics listed here, the 8 characteristics of the service technologies, you're going to find that they differ massively from those of the manufacturing companies. And I think we discussed in one of our lectures the differences between service and manufacturing technologies. And we pointed out that there is nothing which could be considered 100% service, which means that it is pure service without depending on any parts or tools to manufacturing it. And I remember we said that even when it comes to the telephone service, well, you have to have units in order to use the telephone. And also when it comes to airline companies, they offer service. However, if it wasn't for aeroplanes, they are not going to be able to offer service. When it comes to hotels, well, they have to have rooms, they have to have buildings, they have to have furniture and stuff like that in order to be able to offer the service. And when it comes to products, there is nothing called 100% pure product. But the point is, here the point is that with any product, we are going to find percentage of the product with characteristics of a service and percentage with characteristics of manufactured products. So any product may fall somewhere in between 100% service to 100% manufacturing or manufactured product. However, we have a tendency to call a product which has 90% of its characteristics relating to manufactured product and 10% related to the characteristics of a service. We call a product like that manufactured good. And opposite is true for a service. So when it comes to structure, we find that those products which have an overwhelming characteristics of a service, we find that they have separate boundary roles. We find that those roles are very few for the service product, and so many for the manufactured goods. And the geographical dispersion, we find that it is very little for manufactured products, while it has to be very wide dispersed for the service, and so on. We find them all abiding by the characteristics for the service and product, which you can see in the table in front of you. Now we're going to move on to the next level, from organization level to departmental level. So we're going to entertain the issue of the departmental technologies. The departmental technologies concept was developed by Charles Perrault, and he looked at two dimensions. He looked at the variety and analyzability. And for him, variety refers to the number of exceptions, problems, or novel events that occur in the department's work, whether you have to use many skills in order to deal with the many tasks you encounter or not. Also, the analyzability, which refers to the extent to which work is mechanical, clear-cut, and follows an objective computational procedure. Work that requires intuition and judgment would be considered unanalyzable. And using these two dimensions, Perrault came up with 4 types of departmental technology. He came up with the routine, craft, non-routine, and engineering technologies. In routine departments, it's characterized by high analyzability and low variety, like the sales, like the drafting, like the auditing departments. while departments characterized by low analyzability and variety is classified as craft technology departments, where fine goods manufacturing is the outcome of the department's work and performing arts. The other two technologies in the tabulation, as we said, are the engineering and the non-routine technology. Engineering departments have technologies which are high in variety but analyzable, where non-routine non-routine departments have low analyzability and high variety, with examples like strategic planning, social science, research and applied research. While engineering reflect or describe departments of the legal affairs, engineering departments, tax accounting, and general accounting. And we have to be careful when we design departments, and we have to be certain to emphasize the ordering of. First of all, we have to consider the department technology, we have to identify it, and then start to think about the appropriate structure. And since all organizations are not necessarily using the structure that is appropriate for their technology, the process is not reversible. And the major differences across departments occur between routine and non-routine departments. Internal variables that can be adjusted to the technology include formalization, decentralization, worker skill level, span of control, communication, and coordination. In non-routine departments, typically they should be characterized by organic structures and processes, which reflect low formalization, low centralization, employees rather than management having power. Employees have extensive training and experience, and moderate narrow span of control, and horizontal communication rather than vertical communication. See, the point here is the non-routine departments, they have to be very flexible in order to be able to work with and perform the tasks which are not standardized. And this tabulation here shows us the relationship between technology and structure and management characteristics. And as we said, that non-routine technology reflect purely organic structure, while routine technology is very mechanistic, very formalized. And the engineering is mostly a mechanistic structure, because they have to abide by rules, somewhat formalized structure. While the craft technology is mostly organic structure with moderate formalization and centralization. What we said so far reflect the design of departments from the inside each department. However, now we're going to describe the relationship between the departments. We explained before James Thompson's classification of interdependence among departments, the workflow. And if you guys remember, we explained the pooled interdependence, where all departments interact very closely together, and the whole organization is more like a team where everybody contributes to the work of the organization. Like for instance, when you look at banks, banks has different departments, and each department is responsible about a specific work, and actually they do not interact but they are more like I'm sorry, not a team, but more like a group where each group member uh, does his own work, and then the collective work, the collective outcomes of all departments are collected together to reflect the work of the bank. And it happened, well, the technology used in the real estate offices are more like this. Each department, each person work on his own or her own, and then the outcomes of each salesperson or representative, the collective outcomes of them reflect the total outcome of the whole real estate office. However, the sequential interdependence reflect the long linked technology where each department has to complete its work in a specific sequence. And Thompson called this sequential interdependence. However, the reciprocal interdependence, he will come to how all departments work as one team, and this is used with intensive technologies in which the client becomes the object of the conversion process or receives a combination of services altogether. So all departments have to work as a team responsible about one outcome. Like for instance, the customers who go to hospitals, to universities, you find that different departments work on the client, so they collectively have to offer the service to the complete service to the client. This figure presents to us the primary means to achieve coordination for different levels of task and dependence in a manufacturing firm. See, we have here the interdependence and coordination, with the interdependence described from high interdependence to low interdependence, with different mechanisms for coordination, where the higher levels of interdependence receive priority in coordination through mutual adjustment, and lower levels of interdependence have plans and rules to standardize the coordination process. This table explain to us, express the interdependence mechanisms and characteristics based on the type of game play or team play. Here is the comparison between baseball, American football, and basketball, where basketball is more like a team where all members of the basketball team should closely work together for one goal, for one outcome, and they have a very high level of reciprocity between them. While American football players, they pass balls in a sequential manner in order to have a touchdown on the other part of the field. While baseball players, each player pitches the ball on his own, and run from base to base, and the outcome of each player alone contribute to the outcomes of the rest of the players, and collectively they all pool their outcomes in order to help the team win the whole game. Now we come to the design of the job itself. See, the chapter went in that manner. It starts with the design of the organization itself based on the type of technology, and then it moved to the level of the departments, and now we tackle on the job itself. So we have three levels: organization, department, and then job. When it comes to job design, we have so many techniques for job design. We have the job rotation, which say that jobs are simplified and employees are rotated among jobs in order to get rid of the boredom and repetitive work, and to have them motivated. We rotate them among the jobs in order to feel that they perform a variety of work, not just one work. And the job simplification, which reduces the variety and difficulty of tasks performed by a single individual, and this technique was thought of in order to maximize the outcome of each job designed, and also reduce the mistakes which may be committed by individual workers. The job enrichment. Job enrichment approaches use technology in order to increase the responsibility, recognition, and opportunity for achievement. And employees, when they perform enriched jobs, they feel that they are in control. They feel that they are responsible about the work they do. So not only that we enlarge their job by adding more tasks, but we pull down tasks from the managerial positions and embed them, add them to the job being designed, and the job enrichment. Job enlargement, as we said, it's an expansion of the number of different tasks. We enlarge the job and have employees perform more tasks than in the job simplification. However, some of the approaches which intend to motivate employees actually combine both the social aspects of work with the technical aspects of work in order to achieve joint maximization. And as this figure shows us, the joint optimization is between the social system and the technical system regarding work roles, tasks, workflow, goals and values, skills and abilities. So the socio-technical system optimize the social system and the technical system, and you have all characteristics of both the social and the technical system.